Alrighty, we are live, although from a new apartment. We're still in Columbus, OH. But guys are playing a night game. Alrighty, we got audio, so we're good on audio. Alrighty. Yeah, Buckeyes playing a night game tonight, so starting this early. Um, Obviously not the best of situations. I have my computer set up on my dining table. I need to build my desk, rebuild it. All the parts are over there. So we'll be doing that at some point this week. But this will work, and the reason it's a little bit a different setup as well is because you see the two windows behind me all the way across the room there. There are equal windows, like full length windows almost from ceiling to floor, right there. And that's why I can't see the screen unless I get up really close, but hence also why I'm not wearing glasses. Um, what else did I want to say? I think that's about it. I think that's about it. So yeah, definitely gonna have to get some kind of, those like wardrobe things where like it folds together. Or it folds together for storage, and then you take it out, and then it is like like that way, that way, that way, and it gives you like a place to change clothes behind, that kind of thing. I need to get that and put it up there and block all that sun. Otherwise, won't be able to watch anything ever because, of course, the Spectrum outlet is right there, and that's the only place it is. So, unless I want to get a 50, 100-foot coax cable, I guess I could do that. So that's an option. And just charge it to the game. Charge it to the game. Alrighty. I am Coach Steve Money, in case you didn't know that. And I am a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And you can schedule a free financial coaching consult / assessment with me by emailing coachstevemoney@gmail.com. You're watching this on youtube.com / coachstevemoney. And my financial content is right below the Oak Island and Skinwalker Ranch playlists. You'll see the Ramsey Show After Show playlist and the Answering Your Financial Questions with Ramsey Solutions Certified Coach Steve Money. That's me. It'd be weird if it was with somebody else, wouldn't it? And the music playlist has 12 Ramsey adjacent songs. Please listen to those if you're so inclined. And if you can sing better, by all means, record yourself singing any of those. And let's do some questions. Actually, it's time for the budget question of the day. We get these from reddit.com/r/budget. And when I say we, I'm doing it. You're not helping. You're helping by watching, I guess. Oh, it's more to it, so I already opened it. Relative bathroom 540. I manually track every single receipt. And weirdly, I love it. Would you? Hey, period. For the past 3 months, I've been manually adding all my expenses, every single item from every receipt. Literally everything. I didn't start doing this out of nowhere. About it, the person loves the dash between things. No sentences, no periods. About a half a year ago, comma though. Thanks for the comma. I began working on an expense tracking app for myself because money was slipping through my fingers and I wanted at least some control over it. Tried a bunch of apps, different apps. None of them felt right, too complicated, too many limitations. That's when I thought maybe it's time to finally learn how to build mobile apps. Web developer, and I've been wanting to try something new for a while. Okay. So that's a similar thing. If you're a web developer, that's at least doing code, and apps are just doing code as well. So yeah, every month I added some new features and kept tracking my spending, and over time I wanted to get more and more detailed with it. Right now, for example, I have a whole groceries category that's split into grains, pasta, bread, dairy, eggs, meat and fish, sweets, vegetables, fruits, cold cuts, coffee and tea, sauce, oil, spices, ready-made food, snacks, and miscellaneous. I always know exactly where my money is going. I don't need to know that much. I already know it because I'm the one that gets it. Okay, I don't need to hear how good my coffee is. Okay, Jules, I'm the one that buys it. When Bonnie goes shopping, she buys crap. When I buy coffee, I buy the good stuff because I want to taste it. It's from Pulp Fiction. I have thoughts, but we'll wait till the end. It's also kind of fun to watch how prices change, especially around discounts, like when they first bump the price and then do a discount. So it ends up being even more expensive. Yeah, they do that. It's handy to see what meds I bought when I last saw a doctor, how many pizzas I've eaten this month, and so on. So, all right, I'll hold my thoughts till the end. I get that most people probably wouldn't bother with this, indeed, and maybe I've gotten a little too into it, indeed. Another dash. The person loves dash. But it only takes me 5 to 10 minutes a day, and I really like the result. I've become way more mindful about how I spend. What do you think about this kind of budgeting? Could you do it too? By the way, the app, it's called Budget, in case anyone's curious and wants to sell his app or get his app out there, possibly. And so, unless it's free, maybe it's free right now, maybe he'll charge for it later if a bunch of people download it. But all right. Let's go backwards on this. Basically, I don't need this kind of detail. The idea with the budget is that you stick to the budget, not that you know like it detailed as to where you messed up. So basically, you just stop messing up rather than track it behind or afterwards. It's more important to stick to what it says on it at the time. Let's see. Yeah, so like grocery, I don't need to know all that. I know what I buy when I buy it. And so, I mean, that's fine to track it for like spending patterns, how sales affected, et cetera, et cetera. But again, tracking it after the fact is only helpful when it helps you realize that you're making a mistake the way you're budgeting. Because the idea is to budget and stick to it, not to just over dissect what you've spent already. And all the information you want, granted, not the breakdowns into different types of groceries like grains, pasta, bread, like that's not going to be on there, but the grocery store expenditure will be on your bank account. And if you log into your medical account, it's going to have the information on your doctor, so you don't need your app to do that. You can find those other places. So I get it. You do that in the app, then you have, control of it and all in one place, and that's great. But it's just that would be a little bit too much for me. And if you didn't have what I think you should do with this, what you should do with this, if there's not a way to slim it down so that you don't have to break it down into all the different subcategories, then you should. Because that'll allow you to cater to both types of people. But yeah, I don't. The part to love it is when you should track the receipt is before you make the next budget, so you know if you spent that in error or that was a luxury item that you didn't need to buy and wasn't in your budget, and now you have the receipt for it. And so you can't get sidetracked by being so excited about tracking what you've already done. You need to track where you've kept to the budget and where you haven't. If you don't have any problem sticking to a budget, then you really don't have that issue, and then maybe you are looking for something like this that gives you something else to do. So I don't know, people are nutty, so everybody's different, so it just depends. But again, keeping to the budget is the most important thing, not over dissecting it afterwards, over analyzing it. Where's that? There we go. Alrighty, these questions come from, because we were out of, they're replenishing now, of course, but we did all of the reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey questions, and they're, I don't know if it's the same with all subreddits, but on the Ramsey subreddit, there is only 1,000 questions. There are only 1,000 questions / comments posts. There's 1,000 posts at the same time. And so I do enough streams apparently sometimes, and I've been doing more lately, and that causes us to run out. And so these come from the only forum actually run by Ramsey Solutions, and that would be on Facebook, and that is called the Ramsey Babies Tips Community. I do not have my The Ohio State University mug that I got from a hospital visit. Either the heart attack one or the diabetes. Diagnosis. I don't remember which one it was from, because I think I got one of those each time. And those were 10 years apart. Alrighty. Let's get going. Downsized and purchased our condo October 23rd, 2022 for $202,000, and we are officially 3 weeks away from paying it off and being completely debt-free at ages 28 and 30. How about that? 2022 is 2025, so less than 3 years, so great. Probably make a lot of money, so people would call those richies. They're youngs and they're richies. It's been a long 2 years, but it will feel great welcoming our third child soon without owing anyone anything. Indeed. To anyone out there thinking it's never going to happen or this is taking too long, I was there and understand it so well, but just remember your reason why and keep pushing. It can happen and it'll be so worth it. Exactly. You just have to make it happen, and you might not be riches like these people. And the thing with the big shovel is it does allow you to get into more debt, but once you decide to quit doing that crap and pay off your debt, and otherwise even after you're paid off the debt you continue to progress financially, that can happen way quicker when you change your mindset. Looking for encouragement. It's right above you. I'm disappointed that I'm not where I should be for my age, 39. Right, you got these kids 30 and under are lapping me as well. And feel like for me it's so late for me, too late for me, I guess. And my husband tried to stay positive as we work the baby steps and trying to stay on track. It's not too late. If you're breathing, you can still make your financial situation better. And that's also, the baby steps are the same no matter what age you are. If you're 18 or if you are 100 years old, you do the same baby steps that everybody else does. No matter what age. That's the beauty of it. It's very simple, and it's always the same for everybody. Nobody's little situation changes the baby steps. You're either doing the baby steps like they are written, or you're paused if you are in storm mode, an emergency, or stork mode. Blessed to be having a child. 3 credit cards paid off this month, 1 left to go. Excellent. I finally understand what Dave means when he says sell so much stuff the kids think they're next. I tried. No, I got no takers for mine. Put them on the Craigslist. Nobody would take them. Baby step 2, sold about 370 at a consignment sale. What time is it? Oh, I'll have to clip that and send that to my daughter. She'll enjoy that. And my son. Step 2, sold about 370 at a consignment sale. 25 on Facebook Marketplace today. And $18 on Poshmark. Baby step 3, we are coming for you. Excellent. What would you put money in to maximize your interest and work for you? To maximize your interest and work for, okay. And working for you would be maximizing the interest. That they're both the same thing. I know I've seen it somewhere, $100,000. You've seen what somewhere? I need to brush up on what Dave says on it. You could just Google it. Thanks in advance. Moderator, group expert. Oh, I think this was posted by the moderator, I guess. I don't know why I grabbed that one. So this is separate from that. Okay, and that would be you would put the money to the baby steps to not maximize your interest, but to work for you. That's where you would put it. You would not have extra savings while you also had debt. Otherwise, that would be you doing it wrong. If it's your like emergency fund, Ramsey Solutions has no problem with you putting it in a high yield savings account. I don't necessarily like that in all cases, because people let things not be taken care of. For example, what if you are the only one that knows how to get that money and you are in a coma? Then what's your wife going to do? So wife needs to know how to be able to have access as well. Also, there's a few of them, I think. You can get lucky and find a high yield savings account that has a debit card and check or check writing privileges to that, and so that's what I always recommend. If not, it just being in a bank in your town, because that makes it a lot easier to get it. Because as I always say, one of my catchphrases is emergencies don't wait 1 to 3 days for a transfer. And so this is what baby step you're currently on. Okay, that might have been an accidental copy from the moderator over there on the Ramsey Baby Steps community on the Facebook. Baby step 456 here. Oh, this is probably continued of that. What is an ideal amount to put in our $529 per month for our 4 children ages 3, 3, 4, 4? All right, well, what I do is, or not what I do, but what you can do is you estimate for $529 per month. Do you just have one $529, or like they each should have their own $529? I believe is how you should work that. Now, if one doesn't use it, it can be transferred to the other one. But you should have one for each child. But basically what you can do is you can do the inflation. You can look at a school that you like, a target price of a school, what it costs now to go to school for 4 years, and you can add inflation to that and see what that is, and then divide that until by the number of months before the child is 18 or whatever age they'll go to college in. And then that lets you know how much money you got to put in it per month. And of course, you can also factor in the math for the growth from the investments that'll be in that 529 account as well. So, but there's no ideal amount. I mean, I'm sure there's an average amount, but you can't tell. It's just be a guess because nobody's asking every single person that has a 529 and coming up with that average. I've been thinking about the 15-year mortgage, but I have a question on what advice would be given. Do you though? Okay. We have a 30-year VA and almost certainly knows darn well that Mr. Ramsey would not advise that. 15-year and probably not VA either. And we can use the VA Streamline IRRL refi, but I can't go to a 15 because they said it increases the payment. Oh, VA rules would not allow it. Yeah, see, that's the problem. So why don't you refi it to a 15, a place where you can do a refi it to a 15. The closing cost for IRRL is a fraction of what normal closing costs are. Would the recommendation be to just stick to the 30-year, get the lower rate, and pay it like a 15, or you pay it like a 15 regardless of whether it is a 15 or not. So you really don't have to do anything. Now, the reason you probably got the 30-year to begin with, maybe because maybe you didn't fit their guidelines for having a 15 with them originally, or they wouldn't give you one. I don't know. Don't know about not an expert in VA real estate loans at all. Let's see. So yeah, so you can just pay it off as soon as possible and not worry about refi. Do the real refi and pay it. All the closing costs to be on a 15-year loan. You can do any of the above. It doesn't matter. I mean, you already did it. So to undo it, you could go to a real refi. So not with the VA. So you could do that, and that would definitely put you on a 15, which that's what you should have darn well had in the first place. But you didn't do that for some reason. So you would get little supposed benefits from the VA, or who knows why. When you have baby step 7, what's the first splurge you want to make? If I never decide to buy a house, I'm basically on step 7. So I'm not one of those baby step 7 people that is a Richie though. So I mean being on step 7 would be, fabulous. And of course I realize if it would be because I never decide to buy a house. And so I'm on step 7 until I buy a house. If I do. And if I don't, I'll be on step 7 for the rest of my days. But a first splurge, I don't know. I had my first Chipotle, and it wasn't quite as expensive as I thought. It was $8.99, I think it was. And at this particular one, they load you up. I haven't been forever, so they may load you up at every single one of them. But it did look like more overall food than I thought it was. And the last time I had it was over 2 years ago, probably closer to 3 or even 4 maybe years last time I had Chipotle. But it was really good. And I did stretch it into multiple meals. So not as good as $1 a slice for Domino's Pizza. A little bit more money for that. So that's a splurge when compared to Domino's Pizza. But anything, I mean, I'd like to take my kids to go to Disney, like especially for the Star Wars land galaxy. What is it called? I don't even remember what it's called. Galaxy something, I think. Anyway, that's probably about it. I have simple wants. Took a big chunk out of my credit card debt today. Excellent. Should have them completely paid off by the end of the year. Then tackling the student loans. Thoughts on maxing out? Oh, I was getting ready to go to the next question without addressing this one. Should have been complete. Then, oh yeah, okay, great, great. Credit cards all done, I guess, by the end of the year, and then student loans. Great. That's progress for sure. Thoughts on maxing out Roth IRA at the beginning of the year. The idea is that you are doing 15% out of your gross income every single paycheck. That is the idea. So you don't have to save up a big sum to do it, all at big sums. Now, though, say, like, for example, that you just get in step 4, maybe in December. You still have time if you all the income that you had coming in that you were putting first to debt and then your full emergency fund, maybe you have enough to max out your Roth IRA for December, and then you can, or for the year in December. And as a matter of fact, you can contribute, and you should be doing it backwards all the time, because you can contribute to the previous year's max amount until tax day. So until tax day 2026, you can contribute to your 2025 IRA. And so that's definitely how you should do it. But if you want to do a wham bam, and you had enough extra money, which you should not, at the cost of not putting extra on your mortgage and addressing kid college, if that's what it would be. So you wouldn't max that out instead of putting money to the mortgage. You would be doing 15% out of each paycheck. But if it's a situation, as I said, something like, this is you being, it doesn't say what the situation is. Perhaps the guy's on step 7 already. And so if that's the case and you have extra money laying around somewhere, yeah, you can do one in December, max out 2025 in this December, and then in January 1st, you can max it out for 2026 as well. Now, that doesn't give you any Roth savings the rest of 2026, of course. So you would be investing elsewhere. But also you should, count that as, well, since you're doing it for the whole year, you can go up to the max. And so, yeah, okay. So you don't have to do that. I was thinking, well, since you're putting too much and it should only be of each paycheck, but since you won't be putting anything else in there, that's fine. Okay. I overthought it. What in the world happened? Okay. My bad. So yeah, that's fine to do, and everybody thinks about that. Everybody thinks about throwing a big chunk on there, but you shouldn't have a big chunk of money if you're not on baby step 7, because that means you probably have a house you need to pay off, and maybe kid college you need to address, and you would not do extra investing beyond the 15% of gross income while you are still, until you're on step 7. We have calls to interview with SmartVestor Pros this week. I read through the How to Start Investing in 2025, a beginner's guide. I'm assuming that's a Ramsey thing. Might be on their website. Probably might be on their website, right where they have the hookup with the SmartVestor Pros, and have the interview template. Anything you wish you would have asked in the initial meetup that you realized after the fact. Think beginners with little to no experience in this field. There's been enough SmartVestor Pros that stray from the Ramsey advice, and so I'm thinking they give all the right answers to get vetted when they get vetted by the Ramsey team, and so they get approved, and so they start getting referrals. Okay, but then some of their halos start to slip because they know darn well it's a Ramsey referral, and so they should give the Ramsey advice to every Ramsey referral. But a lot of times they don't do that, and every so often the show gets calls from people that have met with a SmartVestor Pro, and they told them to do things that Dave says not to do. So that's the thing, and Dave says, stay on the line, give the screen of the SmartVestor Pro's name, and we'll take care of that. But yeah, unfortunately, they don't work for Dave. They just get the referrals. So the head coaches, or not head coaches, that's football. Football's later. Financial stuff is now. And that's financial coaches do the same thing. Like that troll that called about the 4%. He has different baby steps listed on his, but he also has Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach as a little seal on his website as well. And so when they're just getting referrals and they don't work for Dave, you unfortunately do have to be smart enough to know when they're giving you the wrong advice, even though you don't know every little thing about, in this case, investing. Yeah, so, and it's hard for beginners because, like Dave says, these people should have the heart of a teacher and not just say, okay, well, I recommend you do this. Here's what you should do, is this part, and probably doesn't mention how much money he makes off of that. He could be getting kickbacks for a certain fund or something like that. Who knows? But they don't ever tell you why. And so the idea is that they have a heart of a teacher, and, shocker, not everybody does that. Even though they may say that they will do that, or that they do that when they are interviewed by the Ramsey team. Very proud of my wife and I. We started going Gazelle Intense in February, and no, February, not February. That's too many R's. And officially paid off a whole loan of over 35K. A whole loan. Wow. Over halfway there. Whoa, living on a prayer. And just one more loan to go. Excellent. They showed their little list here. They have crossed off. Great. Okay, what's bothering me about this, though, I didn't notice it before when I pasted it. Why this one not crossed out? Why aren't they written? This may be smallest to largest, but the way they paid them. But why did you write them out in this order? So that's me. That's my I don't know, anal retentiveness, I guess, maybe. I just want to say we started Dave Ramsey's personal finance homeschool curriculum today, and it's so good and so important to teach these kids the fundamentals early. We're loving it so far. Exactly. Some financial curriculum teachers tell their kids it's all right to have credit cards too, though. So, and their school may not be doing the Ramsey curriculum, but so, you gotta, and not only from that teacher, but kids are also getting it from every single freaking ad that's out there. The credit card companies spend billions of dollars, and in order for them to spend billions of dollars, they have to be making billions of dollars in profit. So they're not losing money. Anyway, loving it so far. Great. I haven't seen it, so I don't know like the differences, like what differences there would be, but there probably doesn't have to be many, like between FPU and this kind of stuff. Maybe have it even more so geared to a classroom environment. but it basically is group learning already. Maybe step 6. At first, we were less than enthusiastic about this step. On step 6, why? Why? Oh, it's going to take too long. Yeah, you probably said that about step 2 as well. And guess what? That got done, didn't it? The total just seems so overwhelming to even tackle. So for 4 years, we just made the regular payment. That would be you doing it wrong. So you did it wrong. Then I saw a post in this group by someone talking about how great it felt achieving their goal of getting their mortgage balance to $199,000. It seemed more doable to just tackle a certain part of the mortgage instead of being overwhelmed by the whole balance. Hey man, that's fine if you have to look at it like that. Whatever you got to do to trick yourself. I mean, that wouldn't do anything for me because I know the mortgage is more than $199,000. I know it's, like $3,000 or double that, like $400,000. I know that already, but if in your mind, if you think of it as, oh, I just want to get it to like 199,000, so there's 199,000 left, then it'll be less than 200,000 left. So yeah, I'm going to shoot for that goal. Knock yourself out. Whatever you can do to trick your mind into doing the steps, that's fine. Approve. Approve. I need an approve stamp. I made an accountability post last December when we owed $279,000 that we would have the balance down to $199,000 by the end of 2025. Well, we already made that goal and still have 3 months to go in 2025. Goal for 2026 is to get it down to at least $99,000. See, now you're wimping out. Make it be to get, let's see, how much did they pay? Boom, 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 80,000. Already in less than 9 months they did 90,000, right? 279, 80,000, excuse me. They did 80,000, so maybe you can do 100,000 in the next year. And then it'll be 99. Oh, at least 99,000. So she's doing it. Okay, so she's ramping it up. It's ramped. Good job. My bad. I am hard on the people because I do want to challenge them to make it happen. Basically, this is what I do. I keep thinking about all the extra money we will have once this house is paid off. Indeed, we can spend that money on other stuff. I paid off $12,753.05 that I started in April 2025, ending September 30th, 2025. Great. Do we not have the numbers that I'm not following? Because it's $80,000, so I don't know what this 12,000 something is. Last December, that we would have the balance down to. Maybe they were last December. Maybe they were still doing step 2 or 3, something like that, and other money. And this is the other money there. I don't know. So unclear post. I can't mind meld with them and figure out what they meant to say. Help. I need somebody. Help. McCartney opened with that song, apparently, for his first date on his previous tour. That one written by John, I believe. So one of my credit cards offered, happened in the past, offered me a settlement. Is this good or bad for my credit report? I don't give a crap. We don't care about credit score. We don't care. If it's in what's it called? If it's in collections already, that is bad for your credit score. You paying off something that's in, I don't know if that's reported by the collector or not. So I don't know if that affects it good or bad. You stopping interacting with debt, which is what you should be doing, that is going to negatively affect your credit score. Fortunately, you don't need a credit score to do anything. My wife and I are interested in selling our paid off home to move into something that will fit our family better. Upgrading, trying to upgrade. Let's see. We've been contacted by several of the realtors off the Ramsey website. Okay, they didn't just find you. That means you put in for referrals. So they didn't just find you and said, "Hey man, just by chance, were you thinking about buying a house?" They didn't call you like that. No, you asked for them to call you. Anyway, we're wondering about tips. I'm fixing it as I go along. Tips going forward on picking the right realtor and making sure we're getting top dollar for the home. Period. Oh, that's right. Thanks for any advice. ... 4 dots. Why is there 4 dots? This is not the crawl at the end of, for the opening crawl of Star Wars, where then the last sentence is always has the 4 dots right there. I don't know why people do that. Now, if you would see 3 dots on the ellipsis there on the Reddit, that means that the entire question won't fit on the main page, and so you got to open a different page. Has anyone used RealPage rent reporting? The new place we're moving to is offering it. I've heard it's scammy, but also heard it helps. Again, we don't give a crap about credit score, so it doesn't matter. People that guess what? I haven't done that bull crap, and every place that I have rented has been able to see my last, has been able to find out my last rent. And so in some cases, I've provided proof of that. But we don't care about credit score. So worrying about that, again, not the advice. So I don't do this. Yeah, it's $5 a month for the subscription. Just looking for someone. So by my previous one, not the one in Arkansas, but the previous apartment here in Ohio, offered that as well, and this one does too. And basically, they try to get you in with the main thing they emphasize is they can make it so you do 2 payments a month instead of 1 big payment. So 2 payments of about half. And of course that splits it up, and it is more than just half of your rent. So you're actually paying more. But then they'll say, yeah, and you can build your credit with it. And, I was like, no, thank you, is what I've said in both cases. No, and no. So, but I get emails, or at least from the last apartment, I got emails every single month, sometimes twice a month, asking if I wanted to do that. And also both office managers that I applied with to live in both this one and the previous one, they also suggested that I do that several times when I talked to them about different things. So they probably get a kickback on it, I'm guessing. So yeah. Also, there's a thing where, was it Columbia Gas or was it AEP Energy, my electric company, or both, where they will take care of your whatever your needs are, stopping one address, you so that it's no longer in your name, and putting the new apartment in your name, that kind of thing. And so, but after that, then they're like, I'm gonna transfer you to someone else. I can't remember what the wording is, and they'll help you move over other stuff. And I'm like, no, thank you. Click. I don't need other stuff. You're the energy company. You're the electric company. How about you keep my electric going and you don't worry about any of my other stuff? How about that? How about that? And so, like I said, I think they probably get kickbacks for all that stuff. What time is it? It is... Okay. Game is at 7:30. Oh, so yeah, so you don't need to do that. And I don't have experience with them, but what I've told you is all I know about it. And the hook is that it helps your credit because it reports the rent, which a lot of places do that anyway, I believe. And also you can pay more per month and split that amount in half, and that'll make it easier for you to do. The same way a 30-year mortgage will make it easier for you to make the payment than doing a 15-year mortgage. Same thing. Interest, investing your down payment fund. Yes, you can do that if one thing applies. Let's see. So I'm slowly plugging away at saving for a down payment. Currently, it's sitting... It could be standing in a high yield savings account. Money's not lazy all the time. However, a lot of money advice talks about investing it if you don't expect to need it within a couple years. That currently applies to me. Has anyone here invested your down payment fund in something other than a high yield savings account? What did you put it in, and what are your thoughts on that? I did not put it in a high yield savings account. When my wife and I got a house, it was just in a regular one because I was dumb at the time, I guess. Also, we bought it when we had debt, so we did it wrong. We did it wrong. So that's why I can easily recognize all this dumb because I used to do all that stuff. But so the couple years is not correct. It might be, who knows what the freaking industry standard is, like that freaking 4% withdrawal rate. Oh, that's the standard in industry advice. It's bullcrap. It's bullcrap. They don't have anything that substantiates it at all. And also, they never talk about what if your retirement needs are more than 4% of your nest egg. What about that? They don't ever talk about that. But anyway, this about the within a couple years, that's a no. You have to have a 5-year window per the Ramsey advice to invest any kind of savings in the market. Because otherwise, guess what? You're talking about a couple years. So that's 2 or 3 years. So if you put it in there and say in 2 or 3 years you find a house you want to buy, guess what? Market might be down right at that exact time. And the thing is, you have to get to 5 years before you have it increases the odds way much. Way much. That's the new single. My new hit single. Increases the odds a lot that the market will be at least even, if not up, in any 5-year span. But this is the same thing. This is the same thing everybody does with the Ramsey advice as well. They change it to fit their needs, so they change it. It's just like if their needs are, I want to hire starter emergency fund. So they change that too. So, and that is not the advice, of course. So I don't know about this money advice talks. I don't know who the person's listened to. Could be everybody. And if it's somebody just spitting out the industry standard, there's tons of people that do that. You don't need to listen to more than one guy. When people say how much they paid off in a certain time frame, I'd love to know what percentage of their income was used. They don't ask that. They could make 6 digits to $30,000 in 2 years. Isn't so much, but 70,000 per year. Well, 30,000 would be a crazy feat. Yeah, but the idea is not that they make a lot of money, so it was easy for them to pay it back. The problem was they paid it back, or that should be what you should focus on. They paid it back. And again, the people with the large shovels, the large incomes, they almost certainly have a higher percentage. You're talking about the percentage of their income was used. They have a higher percentage of their income in debt than you do as well. And so you don't want to use that number, do you? No, you don't. Because you want to be mad about something. You want to, lessen their accomplishment and make better of the fact that you're not accomplishing much, probably, is what I'm guessing. Or it could just be somebody overthinking stuff again. You know how they do. And I do that myself. That's how I can find it. That's how I can recognize it. Back to refilling baby steps one. Baby step one. After Murphy drop kicked my family a couple times. All right. That can happen. And guess what? You're better off than if you didn't have baby step one saved, right? So already a success story. To make a long question short, too late. If someone struggles with impulse control in terms of spending, would it be unwise to leave all forms of payment at home? Not if you need to buy something. I'm thinking for emergencies, usually a spouse or friend could be called to grab payment. Yeah, see, I get, you gotta fix your impulse control. Rather than, I mean, at that point, why not also give somebody power of eternity, a power of eternity. That's not a legal thing. You can't give somebody power of eternity. They would like it. Some people would like it. But you can't do that. Power of attorney was the word you were looking for. So yeah, that seems. So part of being an adult, in addition to controlling impulses, is also being somewhat self-sufficient, and you don't want to call your spouse. I mean, that's more understandable. And if that's what you and the spouse agree to, knock yourself out. Almost anything that spouses agree to. I mean, pretty much anything. I just want to leave a little wiggle room just in case there's something weird that somebody thinks up. But generally, anything spouses decide, that trumps the Ramsey advice. Because we would like to work together and stay married, even if it means not following the Ramsey advice to a T, which is absolutely what they should do, but that's not possible sometimes, and to stay married at the same time. Maybe there's something I'm missing here. And no, in my situation, it's not all about just don't buy it. No, it is. You just can't tell yourself that. You just don't listen. There's a lot more going on. Okay, well, are we talking to a counselor about that then? If it's that bad a problem, are you in counseling? Are you in therapy for that? And so that's basically the situation with anything. If you cannot be an adult and tell yourself no, then that's when it's time for some therapy. My snowball is rolling. So yeah, I wouldn't like that. Like I said, with a spouse, fine. You're literally married to the person. But having your friend have to come and bail you out of stuff all the time because you don't have any impulse control, that's not like a long-term plan. Also, just don't buy it. My snowball is rolling. I started selling everything I didn't need or use, and I've been able to put an extra $300 towards my credit cards. Excellent. Now I'm looking for more stuff to sell. Great. Paid off three off so far. Had to tell you guys because no one else seems to understand. They don't. They don't. We're the weird ones doing this stuff. So yeah, they don't understand. And a lot of their problem is, if you are doing it and making your finances better, they don't have any excuse to not be doing it. And that's the problem a lot of times. Baby step 7-ish. Can you be step 7-ish? I don't know. If you're ish, you're not really following the advice. So are you on the baby steps at all? Or are you just doing, like Mr. Ramsey often says, you're doing your plan. And that's fine. Knock yourself out. He doesn't say knock yourself out, but that's the gist of it. I say ish because we are 100% debt free, including the house, but are back to rebuilding our fully funded emergency fund due to life events. Well, then, yeah, you're not in step 7. You're back in step 3, and you'll be back eventually in step 7, I assume. Grocery cost, ... Life event, grocery cost. If the life event was grocery cost, that was your fault for buying. That wasn't an emergency. Groceries are probably never an emergency. No, or not overspending on them. It's not an emergency. So shouldn't have done that. Let's see. Yesterday I had a doctor's appointment, and across the street was what I call a bougie grocery store. Bueller. He's sick. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That is a chain store. I'm a chain. That was from Dolly Parton. Steel Magnolias. Store, but there's only about 15 in our state. I had never been there, so I decided to pop in to see if they had anything we might be interested. So we eat pretty much all organic, in another local organic store recently closed. There are no Whole Foods or Trader's Joe near us, so not either of those. Oh my god! Oh my god! I cannot believe the prices on not only the organic stuff, but just things in general. I see people on here talking all the time about the high price of groceries. And in looking at the things here, most of what they had available that I would purchase, I could find at other stores like Aldi, Walmart, or Meijer's for at least 25 to 30% less. Meijer's is getting up there too. It's Aldi and Walmart basically. I don't think there's anywhere else you can go for that. Giant Eagle is crazy for, like, twice the price or more of Walmart stuff. And I get it, some of the stuff may be better quality, but I don't give a crap. Not paying that much for it. And so yeah, that's the kind of store I may walk in to check it out. But when it costs twice as much at a store, why would you buy? And of course, when I go into, I go to, the reason I would go to Giant Eagle, and I won't be doing it anymore, there was just one very, very near my old apartment, and there was a Sonic next to it, so every once in a while I would get a cheeseburger. Before that, I would check to see what they had on the Giant Eagle, because they do put things on crazy, when they're clearance, they put those on crazy discounts. And so that would be the only thing I ever got there. For me, I have a list of 7 stores that I go to for certain things. Costco, BJ's. I don't have any of those. I don't buy bulk stuff. I don't have any interest in buying bulk stuff. It's just me, so don't need it. Aldi, Meijer, Walmart, discount grocery outlet. Never heard of it. And then Fresh Time, which is more pricey. Indeed. I mean, that's almost like a freaking Whole Foods, isn't it? But I'm trying to think if I've ever been in one of those. I don't know. But it's the only one to carry a certain item that we like. Yeah. And if you're on baby step 2, that's going to be no. Or if you're doing your fully funded emergency fund, how about you chill on the expensive stuff that you like? So I don't know if the life events have anything to do with grocery costs, or he was just saying we're rebuilding emergency fund because of the life events. But what I want to talk today in my TED Talk is about groceries. I buy bulk when items are on sale, and that helps us keep our grocery bill down while still eating all organic. Yeah, and that's true. It can be like that. But you can also get carried away with that. I have a story about that. I took a picture as well. I'll get the picture and I'll talk about it on an after show. I may have showed it on there before. Don't remember. I know there's a lot of business-minded people here, so I have a question. A close friend of mine has a really cool business idea. Nope. No. No. Unless it's, so he's going to be the boss and I'm just going to be an employee of his. That is okay. But no partnerships. You do not partner up with anybody, especially a friend or family. You have clearly delineated lines of your whatever you're doing in the business, and one's the owner and the other one is just going to be an employee, and the owner tells the employee what to do. And an app that she's going to create. She came to me with the idea and wants me and once we chatted, WANTS, we chatted. Want. It's supposed to be once. I wonder where that person is from. If he did speech to text here, he said once instead of once we chatted. And I have my business experience and ideas. She came to me with the idea and once we chatted, and I have my business experience and ideas. Okay, bad sentence form, bad sentence structure. I don't want to lose our friendship. Yeah, and so that's why we don't do that. So I'm trying to figure out how to proceed about this. The Ramsey advice is you don't do that. You let her start the business. If you want to work in it part-time or full-time or whatever, that's fine. But she's the boss, and you do not invest in it. No, no, and no. I want to help her, but I don't want to lose my wife doing it. Okay, back to Pulp Fiction. I want to help her and support her, but since it's in the beginning stages, I will be putting a lot of time and effort into helping build this company. Don't, unless you're getting paid by the hour for that, or salary for that. I would love compensation. But I don't want our friendship to be hindered at some point. If you're at all worried about that, that's when you get, no, I'm too worried about our friendship being affected by it. I can't do it. I wish you much luck, etc., but I can't be involved in business with you. That's all you say. So should I just go into it with the expectation of no financial gain? You should just not go into it at all. If you really want to help her as just a friend, you can say, I'll give you advice, but if you are setting up the business at all, you need to be paid for that. Or do I go into this as an employee? Yeah, working for free for my friend. I wouldn't do it for free, probably. I mean, you can do it for a discount rate if you'd like, especially in the beginning, and then renegotiate after that and make sure that that is going to happen. If it gets very successful, that you'll be wanting to renegotiate. And at that point, if she doesn't want to pay you more, then she wasn't a good friend anyway. You need better friends than that. For my friend right now, and then make an income down the road once it's built. Yeah, I would not do anything that is not completely agreed on. by you and her in advance, like immediately before you do anything. Have a roadmap for that. And of course, as the owner, she could still decline to follow that roadmap eventually. And so you got to not be surprised by that. If you want to make sure you never lose the friendship because of that business, then you don't get involved with that business. What happens if my husband has a non-existent credit score and I still have one? I'm sure this is not the first time that's happened. I would go with somebody that is really familiar with manual underwriting, and that would be, of course, the one that company that Dave recommends, Churchill Mortgage. We're baby steps 2 still, but when we pay off everything, our house is only in my name, and we would like to upgrade sooner than later. Well, we don't do that until step 3 is done as well. So what you could do is pay off all your debt, except the house, obviously. And so you have a low or non-existent credit score 2, and that might be better. But if you want advice on that, about what to do about that, call Churchill Mortgage, because I'm sure they've done mortgages like that. Would him not having a credit score affect it? Or would we go off mine, or would we both have to underwrite? I don't know how they do it. I don't know if they split it up when there's 2 different people applying. I don't know if they split it up like that. I mean, they get the information from both people. I know that from when my ex-wife and I bought it. But before that, we both had pretty good credit at that time when we did that. I didn't get serious about doing Ramsey stuff until after that. Oh my goodness gracious me, we are out. Let me get rid of these so I don't redo these. And then we'll find, going a little bit longer today anyway, because I didn't get to do one yesterday. Wanted to, and I had internet, but I didn't have, time ran out, etc., etc. My son was only available a limited amount of time, and the truck had to be back before 8 hours. So very nice. Only a total of $100, and that included the Safe Moves insurance as well. And so only $100 for that. When I moved from Arkansas, it was $1,500, I think, something like that. So definitely being in the same city area is cheaper. These are the baby steps. They haven't changed, in case you're wondering. So no matter what people are doing, they're doing it wrong. It wasn't because the baby steps changed. It was because they're doing it wrong. Let's look at one more budget question, maybe. Best high yield savings account without direct deposit. I don't think you have to direct deposit in most of them, I believe. Relatively small amount of savings I would like to put in high yield savings account. It seems that many of the ones I've found are only high yield if it gets regular direct deposits. Okay, well, keep looking then. I'm about to start an unpaid internship. Okay. I don't think we need to know any of the rest of the stuff. Keep looking until you find one that doesn't require that. It may also, it may require continuing direct deposits or X amount at the start. Some of them will do that, yeah. And you got to read the fine print on all of them. So you keep looking. Cato777. Looking for money managing app program in a budget app? What you talking about, Willis? Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm sure this question has been done to death. And I'm looking at other threads and getting overwhelmed with info. Well, what do you think these answers are going to do then, my friend? 12 people. Maybe since it's just 12, you can handle it. I'm looking for an app that can track my income and break it up into categories pretty much automatically. As in, I would like to track paydays, then once that money is available, put it into the fixed groups so I can see how much money I am saving for bills, rent. Okay, so that's not how it works. It doesn't tell you in advance how much you should put into these categories. You are the one that decides that. You have to do that. So, like, for example, specific expenses, clothing, maintenance, video games. If you have, let's say if you have 20 shirts and none of them have a hole in it, you probably don't need to buy any shirts, right? So that would be a no. You don't need to buy clothing once a week or even once a month or even once every 6 months. You don't have to do that. I threw away or sold probably 12 shirts within the last year. Either threw away or sold them. Did they get replaced? No, they didn't, because I have enough shirts. Video games. Okay, so video games are not necessary. And so if you're on baby step 1, 2, or 3, we're probably not doing that. Unless you ask for Christmas or something like that. So you are the one that has to do that. Because there's not like an average of, oh, well, here you should be spending X% on groceries. It doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. Because you may be a higher cost of living area where the groceries are going to cost more. So it cannot work like that. You want somebody to do the head work for you and just tell you exactly what to do. And, you know, maybe a financial coach might be willing to do that. I would do something like that for views. You know, and just do your budget for you. And then just tell you what to do. And then we'll see. Then we'll check in and see how you're doing on it. And then I can actually tell a living person, you're doing it wrong. That'd be fun. I am currently in person on my kind of. And of course, I always, tell them this is just advice. These are things that, want you to think about. Even if they're doing everything 100% correct with the Ramsey advice, I can generally think of something that they could do that would save more money. Like it's something that they never, ever, ever even considered cutting out of the budget, but it's not a necessity, so they could cut it out of the budget, that kind of thing. And I tell them to just think about it. But it is up to them whether to cut it out or not. I'm currently using 2 credit card unions and 2 banks. That seems excessive. So it'd be best if we can incorporate all the data. Good luck, because the app/program has to work with whatever system allows it to import the data from the particular financial institution. But I'm thinking about getting rid of the banks altogether. Thanks in advance for any suggestions or tips. And also, I don't mind paying a one-time purchase for the app, but would love to avoid subscriptions if at all possible. Yeah, I get it. Hey, I bet there's one that would at least offer suggestions. And the new Every Dollar, as a matter of fact, even has it will look at your data and I think suggest things. Has like a digital financial coach like that, putting me out of a job, of course. But until it can do a YouTube show, which eventually it will be able to do that too. AI after show. It'll take over. Hopefully I'm long gone from the planet by that time. But yeah, you are the one that needs to be making that decision. And then that way, it's not somebody else telling you to do it. It's you telling you to do it. And so then if you can't stick to it, then why did you tell yourself to do it? Because it's a good idea. Then you should stick to it. 74 minutes. What time is 6:45? Okay, game's not until 7:30. The Ohio State University, not Minnesota. Minnesota played the state up north today, the team up north. Wisconsin, I think. Hello, Wisconsin. Turn name it. App make a recommendation. Same thing. Are there any budgeting apps? Is that what the whole budget r/budget is turning into? Is it just what app? Looking for a free app to track my spending, but I don't want to connect my bank accounts. Great, the free version of EveryDollar. Budgeting app for multiple accounts. Hi guys, my significant other and I are not married, so we should not have our accounts mixed. We should not have mixed finances yet. But they do, probably. I have been trying to find a budgeting app for that both can connect to. You would just have to both log in with the same login. So far, all the apps we have tried only allow one bank account to be connected. Yep, and that's why you should have the same account then. And if you don't have the same bank account, same checking account, then you shouldn't have your finances connected either. Get married first. That is the Ramsey advice. And this, of course, this is r/budget. Doesn't say Ramsey anywhere here. Of course, I'm going to give the Ramsey answer to it. But these aren't necessarily Ramsey people. But you get probably close to the same number of people not following the Ramsey advice on the Dave Ramsey subreddit as well. Because people, my friends, are nutty. We each have our own checking savings and then a joint savings. Yeah. You don't do that. Also, you don't need to link savings. You can keep track of savings on your own. Because savings should be savings and not be something like, oh, well, I transfer out of the savings every single... No, you don't need to do that crap. Live on what you make and not off of your savings. And then a joint savings account. Yeah, I don't know of anything that's going to let you put in, 5 bank accounts, for example. Connect all of our accounts. Not that I'm aware of. Could be. Keep looking. Google it. You could Google it. Looking for budgeting app that pulls credit card transaction in real time so I can use it instead of debit. What? I use EveryDollar and love it, but have like 14,000 and a month in cash flow and want to start using a credit card instead of our debit card to make a lot of monthly transactions so I can get that cash back. Okay. Well, you're using EveryDollar, so that's Ramsey. So the app was not designed for your bullcrap. It was designed for you to not use credit cards, so you don't need that. Also, credit card should not be used. So, you can do it whatever way you want to, but I don't know of a budgeting app that will connect with a credit card. And that could exist as well. I'm just not aware of it. Few pressure. Don't dig it down. Do you think this is a good budget to follow? I'll be the judge of that. Oh, goodness gracious me. Bullet points or a list I thought was going to come here. But no, we got to pull it out of the paragraph. Pulling teeth. Me and my boyfriend, you're doing it wrong. Don't do it. So no, it's not a good budget. If it's for both of you, that's no. Get married and then you combine finances. Are trying to follow a budget to move out by the end of the year. From where? You and your boyfriend, are you both living with mommy and daddy with only one of the mommies and daddies? Or he's living with his daddy and mommy and you're living with your daddy and mommy? We're using every dollar to track and follow our budget. He gets paid every week, $650 minimum. So that's what I'm using to plan. So far, we have our pay that we give his parents rent. Rent plus electricity, which is $250 a month, $150 in gas a month. That's excessive, probably. 150, maybe. Depends on how much driving there is. And some people, they have this thing where, oh, I love driving. I love getting in the car and just going and going and going and going. And I don't. A to B. If I need to go somewhere, that is when I do. I get plenty of driving fun while I'm doing that. $270 for our car payment. You're doing it wrong. So you're doing it wrong. Combining finances and also living together and also having debt. So is there anything you're doing right, my friend? $200 for groceries, $200 for childcare, $200 for groceries. Now the problem with that is that your share of it completely, because that should take care of your share completely without being subsidized by parents. So, but if that's paying for everything, then that's probably okay. If you're spending that much while also being subsidized by parents, you're spending too much on groceries. $200 for child care. If our son, why aren't we married? Why aren't we married? Needs anything? $480 for our car insurance. $20 for any medicines we may need. $250. And if you don't need medicines that month, that is not in there. $250 for anything extra we might want to buy. Basically fun money. That's too much when you have goals. $95 for clothes. Since we don't really buy any, then you don't need $95 in there then. And $1,200 for our savings, which would be $240 a week. Now for groceries, I know that seems low, but we do get food stamps, so it helps. We can usually, that doesn't seem low to me, dog. That seems good for two people. Or no, that's really good for two people. So, okay, food stamps explain it, and also maybe getting subsidized by parents as well. So it helps. We can usually stretch our $200 plus the money we get from food stamps for the whole month. But my question is this realistic? Would it be a good budget to follow? That part is good. You need to not do anything else and pay the car payment off. Of course, you can't save money to move out as well, which is also what. But first thing Dave suggests is to get married. So that's what would be the Ramsey advice on that. As far as the budget, I mean, it seems like you might have everything in there, but living with mommy and daddy, you're not getting the full hit of it. So you're not getting used to the real world. Instead, you're still being coddled by parents by living with them. Any advice or suggestions would be very appreciated. Do everything that Dave Ramsey said, including getting married, and then do the financial advice. And I also wanted to add, when I said he gets paid $650 minimum, I mean that's the lowest he gets paid. Yeah, that's what minimum is. I understood you. It kind of flip-flops. Hope so. It flip-flops. So 1 week it could be $650, next week it could be $800. Right, and you go by the minimum. That's exactly how you should be budgeting. By the minimum the income would be. But you're doing it wrong. Alrighty, and so probably another Let's see. Washington Commanders have a 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time game tomorrow, so it'll be over. So I'll be able to do an 8 p.m. stream. Not going to the old apartment tomorrow. Gonna stick around and try to take it a little easy, but still put away things around here. You can see it's got stuff all over the place still. Yeah. All right. Thanks so much for watching. You can schedule a free financial coaching consultation / assessment with me by emailing coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, the Cash App at $CoachSteveMoney. It wasn't taken. Or a Walmart gift card to that same email address, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams. And it did just update that. That's why I thought I was going to be late, but I made it at 5:30. Upcoming streams, as always, subject to change. The Ramsey Show After Show, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time. The plan is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and that, again, is at 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time, right off the newest YouTube Ramsey Show is over. That's Friday, October 6th, 8th, and 10th, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Answering your financial questions streams. That's the 8 p.m. stream. That would have been 8 p.m. tonight, but game tonight. Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. That's tomorrow, October 5th, and then October 7th and 9th on Tuesday and Thursday, and probably also the next weekend as well. Saturday and or Sunday usually is the dealio for that. And very excited. Gonna be in the freaking 60s next week, and I am so happy about that. It again got up to, I think, 85 plus today. We're setting records in Ohio for hottest ever the past couple weeks here. All right. Again, thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe, like, and comment if you've done those things already. Thank you so much. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day. Excuse me.